we are the only one doing. Euracare is the only
facility
one
here.
facility doing the cardiac MRIs and spectroscopy like studies only in West Africa.
So we have basically all the medications we need for our patients from cardiology, all the specialists, cardiology, gastroenterology, fertility. We have everything here. Radiology. We have all the medicines here. So that's why I said this is where the magic is.
Yes.
Euracare is more like a one-stop shop. So if you come in, for most hospitals, you know that if you see a patient and the patient needs maybe an MRI or a CT scan, they would have to send the patient outside and do it. Because usually when I go out, I see a lot of ambulances parked from other hospitals. But we don't experience that. We are fortunate that we are able to get all our patients in-house, do all the investigations that we do, whether laboratory, radiological, whether it's an echo, we do everything. If you need to be sent to cath lab, we do everything here.
Hi, welcome to the only show that brings you happenings from the diplomatic community in Ghana and around the world. My name is Harriet Nate, and today's show is going to be another exciting episode as we bring you something different from what you usually know happens on diplomatic affairs. Well, I know that when we talk about diplomatic affairs, people always think that we only interview the diplomats, the ambassadors, high commissioners, exactly. But we have something called citizen diplomacy or individual diplomacy, where we have individuals serving as a bridge and connecting two worlds. In this case, we are talking about the United States of America and the Republic of Ghana, and we will be talking about the diaspora. You know, Africa is rising. Africa is no more the dark continent as it has always been painted to be, but now Africa is rising. So people are beginning to spot so many opportunities in this part of the world. And so it looks like this is where things are happening right now. Today, I'm excited because I have one young fellow gentleman, super smart, very interesting personality, and we will be talking about his movement. I call it movement because this is to get and ginger the young people across the world, global movement, to begin to look within and of course discover the best parts of themselves and contribute to a better world. And so Trell Thomas is the founder of Black Excellence Brunch, and he is here visiting Ghana. I had the opportunity to be at his program where Sarkodie was there, Reggie Rockstone was there, almost everyone that matters in the entertainment industry was there. And so for me, it's an honor to be sitting here with him. Trell, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
Welcome to Ghana.
Thank you.
Listen, first off, before we hit it off, tell me, is this your first time in Ghana?
My very first time in Ghana. I am so excited to be here. It is, my first time. I don't even have the words to express what it means to me to be able to share space, even with you right now.
So this is your first encounter with Ghana. How about Africa, the entire African continent?
It's my second time in Africa.
Okay.
I've only ever also been to South Africa. So yeah, it's my second time in Africa.
Share with us your experience in South Africa.
My experience in South Africa was great. It is called the birthplace of humanity. That I went and visited the first place where a human fossil was found. So that was really interesting. Did some safaris, met some amazing people. I think the thing that I remember most about South Africa was I was very excited when I imagined, because I would dream as a little boy to come to Africa. And so when I imagined like what it would be like and what the people would be like, I was like, I wanted it to feel warm and welcoming and like home. And that's how it felt each and every time that I've been to Africa, including when I came to Ghana.
That's a great experience for you. Let's talk about what this means to you as a person, as a Black young person living in the diaspora.
Yeah, it means the world to me because growing up in the US, I probably don't have to tell you, sometimes as a Black person, you can feel or be made to feel less than, or that you're not enough, or that you're not important. And I've always wanted to come to a place where we are the majority. We are seen as excellent and beautiful and all those things from birth. It is our birthright, right? And I always thought about Africa to be that place. So to be here and to be surrounded by so much beauty and so much Blackness and so much excellence, it's empowering to me and it inspires me, and it makes me feel just full of love.
Is it that sense of belongingness?
Yes, yes. In a lot of ways, it is feeling like understood and welcome and appreciated, you know?
Before we touch on the main focus for today, which is the Black Excellence Brunch movement, brilliant concept put together, I would want us to talk about the evolution of acceptance in the United States of America and of course the other parts of the world when it comes to the Black people.
Right.
What does it take from anyone who feels they are not accepted in a particular space? Psychologically, what does it do to them?
It makes you feel not good enough. There's an insecurity that comes along with it. There is a fear at times that comes along with it. So I feel like when you're not accepted, you're constantly trying to find your place. And that is how I feel like I've lived a lot of my life, trying to find my place. And so my goal was to create spaces where we are accepted and we are loved and we are appreciated, and we don't have to look to find that. It is just there.
Then again, there is the America is seen as the land of opportunities. So some of us, a lot of people in this part of the world, Africa, you know, that's like they aspire to live in the United States, where that has always been the picture. And so when we have the likes of you know, constantly talking about how you feel not welcome in that space and how you feel suppressed in some cases, it makes us feel like you don't appreciate what you have.
I think I will say this. There are parts of, there's lots of opportunity in America. I mean, I am a point in case of what opportunity in America can do, right? I think when I speak about wanting to bring about change and it is more so for the larger picture, for all people who look like me. Like, everybody doesn't have hasn't had my experience in America. So I might be like the shining star for some people, but there are lots of other people who don't have that experience. So while America is a great place, I love the fact that I was able to grow up there. I love the things that I learned. I love what I'm able to do. I feel like I want to, my goal is, like, now that I have access, now that I've seen, is to help other people. And I think that we should be constantly thinking about how can we build community? How can we bridge the gap? How can we put the ladder down for other people to climb up? So it's less about being unappreciative and more about creating more space so I'm not that shining star and I'm the only one. And there are lots of people that I'm sharing that space with. Does that make sense?
It does. I think it does. So for you, it's about empowering and educating the young ones out there.
Yeah.
And this is not just limited to young folks in the United States of America, but you're looking at globally,
Yeah.
building confidence and letting them know that they can do something positive with their lives. Is that right?
Yes.
Let's talk about leadership roles for the young people.
Sure.
What's your view about young people are always not ready, they are irresponsible, they have nothing yet to offer when it comes to sitting at the table and, you know, making decisions? These are some of the things that we hear every now and then. Oh, they are not ready yet. You know, 30, he's too young. 25, he's too young. 19, he's too young. There's nothing he can do. How can we change that narrative?
I think it is, you know, you spoke about empowerment. Empowerment is a huge, it's at the core of a lot of things that I do. And I feel like if we're constantly telling young people that you're not good enough, you're not ready, you can't do this, you're too young to do this, then you are like indoctrinating them and telling them what's possible for them. My goal is to say, like, don't let anybody box you in to a thing. Sometimes young people are called lazy because they use social media, but social media has proved to be such a powerful platform. So while it might not look like what things looked like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it is allowing people to do things in their own kind of way and making room and space for that. So I think that in order to help encourage our young people, it's like we have to let them know that it's possible for you. One thing that I can say as a child, and I think a reason why I've been able to do a lot of things that I've done is my father and my parents, they were very much the type of people that would be like, if you can think it, if you can see it, you can do it. It's possible for you. You know, my dad would always encourage me, like, ask all the questions. And those things really helped me build my character and my personality and like my confidence to be a leader. And I think that if we speak to young people in the same kind of way and encourage them and empower them in the same kind of way, they can do the same thing.
Do you think sometimes they are misunderstood?
100%. Yeah, even I feel misunderstood sometimes. So yeah, I think that the social media example is a perfect example that I can give you. There's a lot that happens on your phone now, and I think that some people look at that and they're like, they're always on their phone, you know. But really, there's a lot of power in that, you know. And I think that yeah. So taking the time to even understand more is important.
Right. I think the world has shrunk as a result of technology. Now, social media, we are talking about global village. We do understand how small the world has become because of technology.
Right.
So social media, I think, has its positives and negatives at the same time. It depends on what you are using it for, right? So, well, we'll get at that. I hope someday we'll be able to get over this, you know, as we talk about it. But now let's get to the main course.
Okay.
Let's talk about this amazing concept. I call it a movement.
Yeah.
The Black Excellence Brunch. First up, what is that about?
It's so interesting that you said movement, because that's how I always explain people. Black Excellence Brunch is an event series that's really a movement that is rooted in creating a safe and uplifting and inspiring place where Black people can come and be celebrated and celebrate our individual and collective excellence. The concept of the Black Excellence Brunch came from my upbringing. My Sunday dinner is a big tradition in the South, in America. So I'm from South Carolina, and my mother would host them at our home every Sunday. And it was one of the first places I got to see and feel the beauty of being a Black person. It was so warm. It was so uplifting. It was so encouraging. It was so beautiful. And I haven't lived in South Carolina in about 20 years. And I was missing that feeling, that warmth of Sunday dinner that I would get in my mom's kitchen. And so I just started to recreate it for my friends. And I added, you know, my own touch, my own aesthetics to it, but I still kept the meat of it. And that was to make people feel like that warmth and that love and that celebration of them because of who they are, and welcome Black excellence to the table. So that is what it's about, you know. And I worked in corporate spaces, and I can remember we would have what they would call retreats, right? And there would be retreats, and all the biggest brands all come together, you know, and just have a mimosa together, or coffee together, or a meal together. And out of that meal came big deals and partnerships and lots of opportunities. And I was just looking around like, we need more of those spaces as Black people, where we can just come and be surrounded by amazing and excellent people who are doing great things that we might not otherwise meet. And then some great things come out of it. And so I thought, like, by combining like the Sunday dinner tradition and aesthetic with the idea of building and creating community and bringing those worlds together in this celebratory space, something would happen. And something's been happening.
Right. And something was birthed
Yes,
out of that.
yes.
And here we are today. How long has it been since the inception of Black Excellence Brunch?
So, like you saw it, the all white and the luxury, that since 2017. But prior to that, I'd been doing it in my apartments, in, you know, local places. I had been gathering my friends together since 2010. But 2017 is when it became that official, the all white, the fancy china, the guest speaker, like that since 2017.
Will I be right to say that this is the Black Excellence Brunch is to create a platform for young folks using arts and culture to cause change?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Correct.
This has been happening for the past 5 years, 2017, 2022 right now, so 5 years. What is your biggest accomplishment when it comes to the Black Excellence Brunch?
I would say my biggest accomplishment just happened. Being able to bring this brunch and have it in Ghana, it has been so impactful. I feel like I'm getting emotional even talking about it. Like, it's been so impactful for me because it's been one of those things that was a dream, you know, to be able to. This started in my mom's house, and so to be miles and miles and miles and miles away from that, on the other side of the world, and still be able to just celebrate us and love on us. I met most of the people that were at that brunch that day, and I feel like I have lifelong friends and family. And so I would say that's been, having a brunch here in Ghana has been my proudest and biggest accomplishment so far.
What went into the decision to extend this to Ghana? And why Ghana?
Yeah, a couple of things. I think I did my ancestry. I traced it back, and I traced my history back to Ghana, my DNA. And so that was very exciting to me, to be able to come to put foot here, to breathe the air, to meet the people was a big deal for me. Secondly, I know that since the year of return, everybody in America has been talking about Ghana and how important it is to get back there. I have mentors like Bosma St. John and Boris Kojo, and people who have come here and shared the importance of coming back here. And so that's another reason why I really wanted to come. And then the third thing is because I feel like Ghana is the mecca of Black excellence. It is a place where I feel like a lot of Black excellence thrives and lives. And so I felt like it was a good starting place.
That's very interesting. So you came, you met with all these very important personalities in the arts industry. It was big. I was there and I witnessed it, and it was amazing. Now, what's your educational background?
Yeah, I went to school for broadcast journalism. So I did that. I worked at NBC, and I did archives production. And then I worked on the Obama campaign. So in 2008, I was part of
You worked on the Obama campaign?
Obama campaign in 2008.
That is huge.
It changed my life. I got to help elect the first black president in the United States of America. I did that. And then from there, I started doing more political and activism work, helping like community organizations use social media to move their causes forward. So I worked on climate change and helping young people, empower young people into leadership positions. And then I took a kind of a turn in my career and started doing entertainment PR. So I did corporate PR and then entertainment PR, and then went, and I think where in each part of my journey, I was putting things in my toolbox. Like, I learned this, I put it in my toolbox. I learned that, I put it in my toolbox. I learned some stuff on the Obama campaign, I put it in my toolbox. And then I moved and I started working at Viacom. And I worked at the intersection of talent, so celebrities, brands, car brands, TV brands, etc., and the channels, MTV, BT, VH1. And I was responsible for bringing all of those worlds together to help cause change or affect change. With VH1 Save the Music, we helped put music education in the schools for kids so they could learn music in communities that were underserved. So things like that. And then in 2017, I embarked on my own journey of full-time entrepreneurship when I really started the Black Excellence Brunch. And I moved to the other side of the country and because I wanted to take all the things that I had learned from all those different spaces and help my community and my people, and to create opportunities for the future trails of the world.
Well, I took you back because I wanted to know more about it, about you as a person, and I believe our audience, cherished audience, would also want to know who you are, where you're coming from, even though you already established the relationship you have with your family, how they came, the family gatherings, how that has impacted your life. This has been series of events that have shaped you as a person. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, that's absolutely right.
How important is it for the young folks out there?
It's very important.
And build up to leadership position.
Very important. I think service has been at the forefront of everything. That I still walk into spaces and I'm like, what can I bring to the table as opposed to what can I take away from it?
Yes.
And that's created more opportunities for me than I could ever explain. Perfect example, I think a highlight, and I saw, you know, your response to the highlight in my career and my journey has been working on the Obama campaign. I got that opportunity on the Obama campaign because I volunteered. I'm in a fraternity, and he was coming to do a speech, and I volunteered to step before his speech, so we were the entertainment before his speech. From doing that for free, I was able to meet him and connect with people in the campaign who offered me a job there. You see, so I feel, and I can tell you, even with Viacom and working with VH1 Save the Music, I was volunteering long before I was hired. And I was hired in the midst of volunteering one day. And so I think that if I can tell anyone anything, it is always look to see what you can bring to a space. And sometimes if you feel called or led to a place, it is so you can be of service. And then the things open up. I'm big into my faith. I believe in God, and I believe that when God places a purpose inside of you, when God gives you a vision or a dream, it is not always, you not always start at the very top. right? Sometimes you have to go in with that small piece of faith and at a position that allows people to see your heart. And once they see your heart, everything else can come out. And I think that that's happened to me like more often, showing the core of who I am and being elevated after that.
I am very big on volunteerism. I know how important volunteerism is when it comes to the United States. How can we replicate this in our part of the world, given the fact that the situations are not the same?
That's a great question. I think it starts with intentionality. I think everything starts from a place of intention. So it is creating spaces and opportunities for people to volunteer or to be of service. You know, one thing that I really like about, I'm here obviously during Global Citizen Festival weekend. One thing that I really liked about the way things were there is I saw at the festival, I saw every, I guess you could say, class of people, of Ghanaians there. And I think it would be good to take some of that structure that was implemented for like big events like that and see like how can you apply it to things that are happening here? How can we take that structure and implement it into like the everyday life of Ghanaians in Ghana? I would start at a place like that and just like looking at structures that you may admire from America or other places and say, okay, how can we apply or a scale of this to something that is going on here? That would be my encouragement, and I think that it's just that intention, but then like creating those opportunities.
Now let's talk about the message. Were you able to get the message out there?
I think so. I think so. I mean, I feel like I don't know like what my measuring scale is totally, but I feel like there were a lot of people that reached out to me, people that had come to the brunch and people that wanted to come or saw other people posting and talking about it, have been reaching out to me. And I feel like whenever that happens in America, even with the brunch, the way that it grew, more so than all the celebrities that were involved, more than all the brands that got on board, were the people that came and told other people. So it grew by word of mouth, very organically and naturally. And I hear the rumblings of that since the brunch here.
Trell Thomas, final words as we wrap up.
I think my final words are, we can do more together.
Where do we go from here?
I think, are you familiar with the analogy of like the crabs in a barrel?
Yeah.
You familiar with that?
Yes.
Analogy. I feel like we have to do away with that mentality, right? So I think where we go from here is by putting the ladder down, opening the doors, opening the windows for other people to come in, sharing space, sharing our knowledge, building community, having conversations that are not just, hey, how are you? Hey, fine. You know, having deep conversations with people. That is where we go from here. We authentically and intentionally and genuinely connect.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
I hope you enjoyed your stay in Ghana.
I did. I'm coming back. Thank you.
Coming back?
Yes.
All right. What's the message are you going to give them when you go there?
You have to come to Ghana. You have to experience this. You have to see the world, and you have to share and spread this message of coming together and uplifting one another.
Uplifting one another. And he said some very interesting quotes that I put down. He said Ghana is the mecca of black excellence, and I love that. Ghana is no more a dark continent, or Africa is no more a dark continent. It is Africa rising, and Ghana is leading the way, and we are super excited about it. The good thing is that if something good happens anywhere, it's for all of us, and if it's bad, we are connected. Now the world has become that small, so we have to do everything possible to ensure that we have a better world for ourselves and generations to come. Now, Trell Thomas is the founder of Black Excellence Brunch, and the first one took place right here in Accra. So this is his first time in Accra, and he's had so much fun and so much love and support. And that is the change that we want to see more young fellows, young folks out there, young generations out there causing this change. That is what we want to see.
We are the only one doing. Uracare is the only
facility
one
here.
facility doing the cardiac MRIs and spectroscopy like studies only in West Africa.
So we have basically all the medications we need for our patient, from cardiology, all the specialists, cardiology, gastroenterology, fertility. We have everything here. Radiology. We have all the medicines here. So that's why I said this is where the magic is.
Yes.
Uracare is more like a one-stop shop. So if you come in, for most hospitals, you know that if you see a patient and the patient needs maybe an MRI or a CT scan, they would have to send the patient outside and do it. Because usually when I go out, I see a lot of ambulances back from other hospitals. But we don't experience that. We are fortunate that we are able to get all our patients in-house, do all the investigations that we do, whether laboratory, radiological, whether it's an echo, ECG, we do everything. If you need to be sent to cath lab, we do everything here.
The Progressive Woman's Show is that space for frank, open, honest, provocative, perhaps even revolutionary conversations about today's woman.
If you go to the banking sector, there are people there who want to sleep with you before they give you a job. If you want to be a teacher, if you want to be a civil servant, there is someone who will say, oh, I can get it for you easily. All you have to do is drop your pen.
It was something that was demanded of me. My editor, my news editor in the newsroom, thought if I don't pull down my skirt, I was not going to be put on air.
I am yet to come into contact with anybody asking me to sleep with him to go on TV. I will not sleep with any man for a position. I will sleep with a man I want to sleep with for the pleasure of it.
When governments come to power and they say that the women are not showing dynamism and the women, for me all that, forgive my Latin, this time of the day, all that is bullshit.
I practice public speaking in church.
Okay.
I practice service in church. I practice leadership in church. So those are things that's why the church is important in our lives.
And that's how you do it. It's
So
not buy Range Rover and do so for
That takes me right there.
the church.
When you mention Jesus, you don't have to say Jesus. You can just say Jesus.
But they say it's a man's world out there, isn't it? Unfortunately, I don't know why, because we seem to be doing all the work. They are the head and we are the neck. Excuse me, can you be a head without a neck?
No, please. No, please.
Yeah.
Well, hey, ladies, let's continue to hold up the sky.
da, da, da.
Da 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 da.
Da, da, da.
Da da da.
Da, da, da. Ich lieb dich nicht, du liebst mich nicht. I don't love you, you love me not. Ich lieb dich nicht, du liebst mich nicht. I don't love you, you love me. Thank you.
The little pieces of fabrics that can't be used to do anything. I made a jacket out of it, and that is what you are seeing. So they are filled with also the rubbers that are seen on our environment. I get it done, so enjoy.
And thank you very much for sharing with us your wonderful work, and we wish you all a wonderful, successful future. Thank you very much.
Now don't stay back and me. Everybody say no flash me. We do space, no pass me. We show face, no sassy me. Give me space, no rush me. We do no bada. We do no bada. We go see no barrier. We check no bada. Yeah, okay, grab my swagger shot. When you go to circle, shout for the shit. Okay, grab now we need to shout for what we want to check. Okay, grab now.
In previous seasons, you saw this.
You are not allowed to hawk or preach in commercial vehicles.
The perception in Ghana is abortion is illegal, and we don't follow up with the exceptions.
The existence of the customary marriage is no prerequisite
for the ordinance
marriage.
Yes. And now, are you ready for this?
Some people express the fact that they don't go on leave with pride.
Accumulated leave, like they term it, is illegal.
Because in Ghana we don't have enough lawyers, and the accused can apply for bail where he has no lawyer.
Knowing full well that you have an STI and you do not reveal that to the person and you have this sexual contact with the person, it is also part of domestic violence. Join the Law Express panel for relevant, informative and educative topics.
It is clear that if the court grants bail, it is the registrar of the court that has the power to deal with execution of the bail.
All matrimonial properties that are sold without the consent of the other party are actually null and void.
Well, thank you very much once again for joining us on this episode of Diplomatic Affairs. My name is Harriet Nate, and I look forward to seeing you same time next week. Enjoy the weekend.